You're not tired from the party. You're tired from the aftermath of fooling your brain. Parties are sold as social gatherings, but neurologically, they are a sensory minefield. Your brain isn't lounging in a pool of serotonin. It's wading through a flood of inputs. The irony? The more fun you have, the more your brain works overtime. Let's dive into the mechanics. Your brain processes these stimuli through a system known as predictive processing. This system uses past experiences to anticipate incoming information, helping you feel like you belong. But at a party, the unexpected is the norm. Dr. Carl Friston's work on predictive coding highlights that any deviation from expected patterns requires your brain to recalibrate its predictions. This recalibration is akin to updating buggy software under pressure. Here's the fatal error. With constant sensory shifts, your brain's predictive model falls apart, leading to cognitive friction. You might think you're just tired, but it's a neurological tax. When your brain's predictions don't match reality, it has to work harder to minimize errors, consuming more energy than usual. Imagine running a marathon without training. That's your brain after a party. Here's the twist. This neurological tax isn't just a burden. It's an evolutionary trade-off. Your brain's ability to adapt to unpredictable environments has allowed humans to survive. It's the same mechanism that lets you navigate complex social networks and adapt to new situations. The party-induced exhaustion is merely the price you pay for this adaptability. The verdict? To handle this aftermath, adopt the neural reset protocol. After intense social engagement, deliberately lower your sensory input. Quiet environments, minimal lighting, simple tasks. This reduces neural overhead and allows your predictive processing system to recalibrate without new disturbances. But here's the catch. Do it wrong, and you'll extend the recovery curve instead of shortening it. Parties aren't modern chaos. They're evolutionary echoes. When you think of a party, imagine a prehistoric gathering around a fire. Our ancestors also faced sensory saturation, but it was a signal of opportunity and danger. These gatherings were where alliances were formed, where mating rituals began, and where threats needed to be assessed. Your brain has been wired to treat these social events as critical data points for survival. It's not just a party, it's a tribal council. In this ancient context, your brain developed a finely tuned system for social navigation. According to Robin Dunbar, the anthropologist behind the Dunbar's number, our brains expanded in size to manage complex social networks. These gatherings were the testing grounds for social intelligence. The stakes were high, and so were the neurological demands. Your brain, thus, evolved to absorb and process enormous amounts of social data, but only temporarily. The system wasn't designed for prolonged exposure, leading to the post-party crash. Here's where it falters. The brain's capacity for managing social complexity is limited by its energy resources. Your brain accounts for about 20% of your body's energy consumption despite being only 2% of your weight. This makes it a high-demand organ with finite reserves. When you attend a party, the intense social calculations lead to neural fatigue. This is why, despite your socially savvy ancestors, you're left feeling like your brain ran a marathon while your body stood still. But here's the strategic advantage. This limited energy reserve forces your brain to prioritize what's truly important. It acts as a filter, ensuring that only the most critical social interactions are committed to memory. This selective memory process is what allowed early humans to make quick decisions in life or death situations, like distinguishing friend from foe. So, while you feel drained, your brain has efficiently archived the social hierarchies and dynamics from the party. The protocol? Implement the neural hierarchy filter. After a socially intense event, consciously review your interactions to determine what holds long-term value. This conscious filtering helps your brain expedite the prioritization process, reducing cognitive load. But the dilemma? Fail to filter effectively, and you'll find yourself drowning in redundant social data, complicating future interactions. You think it's just the hangover, but the real cost of partying is deeply embedded in your neural circuitry. While alcohol and lack of sleep play their part, The true drain comes from cognitive resources. Every conversation, every laugh, and every social cue adds to your brain's operational burden. This isn't just about being tired. It's about the neural debt you've accumulated. This neural debt is a real phenomenon. According to research by Dr. Matthew Walker, sleep is vital for clearing the brain's metabolic waste, which includes adenosine, a byproduct that accumulates during periods of wakefulness. Parties delay this crucial brain-cleaning process. When you miss sleep, your brain can't clear out these metabolic byproducts efficiently, leaving you in a foggy haze long after the music stops. The fatal flaw in our social strategy is ignoring this metabolic backlog. When the brain is overloaded with unfinished processing, it leads to what researchers call cognitive hangover. This isn't about feeling sluggish. It's the result of impaired neural function. Decision-making, attention, and even memory are compromised. You're not just recovering from social overload. You're fighting a battle with your own brain's inefficiency. But here's the hidden payoff. This cognitive hangover forces a reset, encouraging the brain to reevaluate its priorities. It's an involuntary detox that can lead to clearer, more strategic thinking once the fog lifts. The brain, having been through the ringer, becomes more adept at filtering out distractions and focusing on what truly matters. It's like a system reboot, but it comes at a hefty price. The protocol? Initiate the metabolic clearance strategy. Prioritize rest and hydration after social events. These simple actions facilitate the brain's waste removal process, reducing the duration of cognitive hangover. But here's the tension point. Neglect this protocol, and you'll pay with prolonged neural inefficiency, affecting everything from work performance to personal relationships. You might think the post-party lull is purely negative, but lurking beneath the fatigue is a hidden advantage: enhanced social memory consolidation. When you sleep, your brain isn't just resting. It's integrating and organizing the social information gathered during the party. This is when the brain turns fleeting interactions into lasting social bonds. So, while you feel drained, your neural network is busy preserving connections. Dr. Susumu Tonegawa, a Nobel laureate in neuroscience, has shown that sleep helps in the reactivation and consolidation of memories. During the slow-wave sleep phase, your brain replays the social scenes like a highlight reel, strengthening the neural connections associated with them. This process doesn't just store memories, it enhances your social intuition for future interactions. The fatal oversight is underestimating the power of this consolidation phase. Most people view post-party recovery as dead time, ignoring the cognitive recalibration occurring beneath the surface. This downtime isn't a loss, it's a strategic pause. By failing to recognize this, you risk missing out on the social insights that naturally arise when the brain is given space to process. The unexpected perk? This period of recalibration refines your social radar. As your brain sifts through interactions, it hones in on nuances and patterns, enhancing your ability to detect social cues in future engagements. The downtime becomes an investment, transforming fatigue into enhanced situational awareness and social agility. The protocol? Embrace the social memory enhancement routine. After social events, allocate time for restful activities that encourage brain downtime. Reading, light walks, or meditation allow your brain the quiet it needs to consolidate and refine your social intelligence. But here's the dilemma. Skip this routine, and your brain may squander its chance to convert exhaustion into expertise. You've experienced the post-party haze, but what's your game plan? Most people flounder, trying to brute force their way back to normal. The real strategy lies in managing your neurological tax. It's not about avoiding parties, it's about optimizing recovery. The misconception? That rest alone will suffice. Your brain needs more than downtime. It needs a structured protocol to realign its cognitive resources. Enter the Cognitive Realignment Protocol. Dr. Sarah Mednick's research on napping shows that short, strategic rests can enhance cognitive function and mood. Naps facilitate memory consolidation and neural repair, acting as a reset button for your brain. But it's not just about sleeping at any time. Timing and duration are key. 20 to 30 minutes in the early afternoon maximizes benefits without causing sleep inertia. The common pitfall: ignoring the role of nutrition and hydration in cognitive recovery. Dehydration exacerbates fatigue, while specific nutrients fuel brain function. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish, and antioxidants in berries support neural health. Your brain's recovery isn't just mental, it's physical. Mismanage this, and you extend the cognitive hangover beyond its natural lifespan. Here's the strategic twist: leverage controlled social interaction as a recovery tool. Engaging in low-pressure social activities can gently stimulate your neural circuitry, easing your brain back into operation mode. Think of it as a warm-up for your cognitive muscles. It's not about isolation, but about recalibrating your brain's social bandwidth. The protocol to implement: follow the 3-tier recovery system: nap, nourish, and network. Each pillar supports the others, creating a balanced approach to cognitive recovery. But remember, skipping a single tier could unravel the entire system, leaving you in cognitive quicksand. Are you ready to trade chaos for strategy and reclaim your neural efficiency? You've understood the why, but how do you apply this in the real world? The mistake most people make is treating recovery as a passive process. It's not just about waiting for your brain to bounce back. A strategic application of the 3-tier recovery system can transform your post-party experience from a dreaded ordeal to a manageable routine. The misconception? Thinking that this approach is cumbersome or time-consuming. Consider the first tier, nap. Plan for this in advance as part of your recovery strategy. According to Dr. Mednick's guidelines, a scheduled nap is as critical as any meeting. Treat it with the same importance. Find a quiet space, set an alarm, and make it non-negotiable. This isn't laziness. It's a tactical move to give your brain the downtime it requires for optimal function. Next, let's apply the nourish tier. Stock your kitchen with brain-friendly foods before the party. This foresight turns a simple meal into a recovery tool. Omega-3 rich foods like salmon and snacks like nuts and berries can be both satisfying and restorative. The error? Overlooking nutrition's role in mental clarity. Your post-party grocery list is as pivotal as your party playlist. Finally, implement the network tier with precision. Plan a casual walk with a friend or a low-key lunch. These interactions act as gentle neural stimuli, aiding in recalibration. It's about choosing quality over quantity, focusing on meaningful interactions that energize rather than exhaust. The oversight: assuming recovery requires isolation. In reality, thoughtful social engagement accelerates cognitive restoration. The verdict? Transform this understanding into action with the recovery implementation plan. Integrate these tiers seamlessly into your routine. Reframe recovery as a strategic process, not a passive aftermath. The challenge lies in consistency. Without it, the benefits unravel. Will you let your brain flounder, or will you harness this strategy for sharper, more resilient neural performance? If you followed along, you're now aware that recovering from a party isn't just an individual issue, it's a systemic one. In a world that glorifies constant connectivity, we overlook the toll it takes on our collective neural well-being. The misconception is that society can function optimally without addressing these underlying cognitive strains. But what happens when a culture operates on a perpetual cognitive hangover? Research by the American Psychological Association indicates that chronic cognitive strain can lead to widespread issues like burnout, decreased productivity, and impaired decision-making. As individuals struggle with their own post-party recoveries, the ripple effect on businesses and communities is profound. It's not just a personal problem, it's a societal inefficiency that hampers progress. How can we expect innovation from a cognitively fatigued population? The fatal error is ignoring the systemic benefits of structured recovery. When individuals apply the 3-tier recovery system, they don't just enhance personal well-being, they contribute to a more efficient and effective society. Imagine a workforce that leverages downtime strategically, leading to sharper insights and more innovative solutions. The oversight: viewing recovery as an individual luxury rather than a societal necessity. Here's the paradigm shift: embracing recovery not just as a personal strategy, but as a cultural norm. Organizations that prioritize structured downtime will find they're investing in their most valuable asset, human capital. This isn't about reducing productivity. It's about enhancing it by acknowledging the neurological realities we all share. The challenge lies in shifting cultural perceptions from hustle to harmony. The protocol for systemic change? Implement the Cultural Recovery Initiative. Encourage organizations to integrate recovery protocols into their structure. Shift from reactive to proactive rest strategies, creating a culture that values cognitive health. But here's the tension. Without this shift, we risk perpetuating a cycle of inefficiency and fatigue. Will society continue to stumble through cognitive fog, or will it choose clarity and resilience?